making to the 4 schools that the name was changed by Duval County School Board earlier this week?
Yeah, I think it's awesome, and since I've arrived in January, Shad Khan and the Jaguars, it's amazing me how much commitment they have to so many different charitable organizations. I think that is incredible, and what I've seen so far these last 4 months, I just think it's great for our community, and I'm so proud to be part of this organization.
Awesome. Thanks, Urban.
Yep.
Okay, we'll go to John Reed and then Gary Smith.
How you doing, Coach? Can you just talk about the progress of the offense and just how Trevor looked to you today?
I thought he looked great. Had a really good day today. He's just making steady progress. I want to say I can't give you a percentage of the installation, but we've been at it now for 3 weeks. And one of the advantages that we've had with Trevor, we kind of made a decision, I can't remember exactly when, that we were going to draft him.
Recording in progress.
And we started working with him, a good month before practices started. So he's been great. His retention has been great. Execution has improved. I just like, and so do I speak on behalf of Schottenheimer and Bevel, his seriousness and his approach to this has been fantastic.
And just a quick follow-up. What have you seen from the defense, as far as just what has stood out to you over the 2 weeks of these practices that you feel impressed or something that needs to get worked on? I mean, what's your just your opinion about how they've progressed so far?
Yeah, it's hard to give you a full evaluation. Obviously, that'll come after we do a lot more against each other. We only had 3 days against each other. I see a rebuilt secondary, even though CJ isn't full speed yet. He's getting close, but we have Ray Jenkins and Shaq added to the guys that are already there. So I'm anticipating our secondary to be one of the strengths of our team. We worked in free agency to help it. We worked in the draft to help it, and I feel we have some good core players there. So that's where you start. We also brought in Damian Wilson for maturity and experience to go with Miles Jack and Joe. And then we have some good young players behind him. So I feel really good about our personnel on defense, scheme. They're still learning it. And we haven't been, we're in the shorts and just only got, in it's phase 3. The players associate, we're not supposed to do a lot against each other. There's no winner loser, so it's hard to give you a true eval. But I like where we're at.
Thank you.
Okay, we have Gary, then D-Rock.
Yeah, Coach, can you talk about what you've seen out of James Robinson so far, and the guys who were the rookies last year who had to do everything virtually at this point? How much are these sessions going to help them progress?
Well, night and day. We're actually in team meetings now. We keep our distance from each other, but a team meeting is so much better than the Zoom. And I heard I wasn't coaching last year, but the horror stories about videos not being able to show videos. The technology wasn't great, so having them here in person have been fantastic. James Robinson is one of my favorite guys. He's I can't name a harder worker right now on our team, and that started in January all the way through whatever it is, June now. So I love that guy.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, we'll go D-Rock now and then Gene.
Hey, Urban, what have you seen out of DJ Chark as he tries to bounce back from a season that, he probably wasn't full strength?
Yeah, he didn't play well last year, and obviously his first year he was very good. I just didn't like his size, his strength. I just thought it was way below average, way below what we expect from our receivers, and he was told that. And the best thing I love about DJ is he addressed it and hit it very hard. Gained 7 pounds of muscle. He's playing a much more physical game. He was a big guy that played little last year, and that can't happen. Guys like Mike Thomas and Lewis Murphy are those big, strong, fast receivers, and he's got to play big and strong. And he can now because he is big and strong. So I just had, ironically, a good meeting with him as we walked off the field. We can't lose that strength and power gains that he made in the offseason, and he's committed to do it this summer.
What does it say to you about him when he's a guy that gets the negative review and then turns around and immediately addresses it?
Negative review? Yeah,
when you said he had to get stronger and bigger, and play better than he did last year.
Well, it tells you he's a smart player. This whole world's about increase someone's value, and DJ Chark can increase his value by getting bigger and stronger and playing that way, and he can also help us win. So I love the fact there is no resistance. He acknowledged it, and Sanjay's been working with him, and I love where he's at.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, we'll go to Gene and then Ashlyn Sullivan.
Hey, Urban. Hey, I apologize if you might have answered this the first question or two, but in this morning's video presentation, they mentioned how the Sports Performance Center was something that had to go up before anything else. Was that something that was already in the works, or did you sort of have to nudge them a little bit on that it was a more pressing issue for you in terms of getting what you needed to get done here?
Oh, I think I can't tell you what went on before our conversations with Shad, but I can tell you we spent an incredible amount of time on that piece, and just the understanding of the vision that we have as an organization, and that's to give the players the most valuable commodity of any organization are the players, and how do you invest back in the players, and that's always been for the last 30 years. I've always believed in that. I didn't say be soft. I didn't say, whatever. I work people hard, bring out the greatness in them, but also treat them like gold. Treat them like the way they earn that right as an NFL football player. I think you've earned that right as a college football player. I think you earn that right as a volleyball player. You've earned that right to get the very best treatment, the very best training that's possible. And if you don't get that, I think the players are getting they're not. That's not fair. So that was a big part of it. I can't tell you what happened before those conversations.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go to Ashlyn and then Hayes.
Hey, Coach. We've been talking with Rayshawn Jenkins and Shaq Griffin, and they were talking about how they always have conversations where they hold each other accountable, and it's almost like a great competition out there where the next person wants to get the next play. What have you been seeing out of those two? And it seems like everywhere we look, those two are together always.
Yeah, I can't be more happy about that. Some of our veteran coaches and others, colleagues of mine in the NFL, warned me about free agency, especially when you don't know the player that you're getting. And to say that I knew Shaq and Ray, I did not. However, I knew Louis Murphy very well from he's one of their mentors and a guy that they kind of grew up watching him play at Florida in the NFL. And I had some former players play with Ray and Shaq. So we kind of had an idea what we'd get, but they're actually been better than I thought they would be. And I'm not talking about football ability. I'm talking about people. I'm talking about work ethic, leaders on the field. They've been great.
Okay, Hayes.
Hey, Urban, the conversation that you had with DJ Chark, did you have to have that kind of a conversation with a lot of the returning veterans on this team about something that you saw that had to be improved?
Yeah, I don't know if it's fair to get too deep in it, but I did. I saw a team that didn't look very good, and I'm not talking about, my vision of a team is a big, strong, powerful, fast team. I mean, and it wasn't that way. And we had a lot of injuries last year, and that's why we made a lot of changes in that sports performance area. You followed our teams over the last 10, 15 years, and I'd expect to be as big and fast, as strong as anybody in the country. And that's in college, and in NFL, I expect the same. And yeah, we had a bunch of good talks. The good thing, there was zero resistance. They all agreed, and they knew that would. Now, you had to give them all the amenities to make sure that can happen. That's we hired. We have 4 strength coaches now. That's a bigger staff than we had in the past. Our training staff is not a bunch of trainers. I consider them experts. We do all in-house rejuvenation now, which is the dry needling, the cupping, the deep tissue massage. They didn't have that here last year. That's all here now.
Awesome. And then I was going to ask you, what's your philosophy on joint practices, and are you trying to get any joint practices lined up for training camp?
I've done some research, a lot of research on it. I believe we will. I don't want to tell you too much now because I don't know if it's finalized yet, but we are going to try to do a joint practice.
Great. Thank you.
Yep.
We have time for 3 more. We'll go with Andy Staples and then Cassidy Hill.
Yeah, you guys have a pretty high percentage of guys attending these voluntary workouts. Is there something that you've done to try to make an atmosphere that makes them want to come?
That's a good question, Andy. We tried to, we've been around each other a lot. I just try to make sure they got the very best. And I said that this morning, I don't really believe that a professional athlete or a college athlete should have to go somewhere and pay for proper training. They've earned that right. And that's something I've always believed in, and we're going to do that here. If a player decides to go somewhere else to get better, then I'm going to go try to hire that person they're going to, because they deserve the best. I don't want to have a player tell me he can get better training in Phoenix. That shouldn't happen. It should happen right here.
How different is it for you? Because before you could go to Mickey and say, what's up with this guy? What's up with this guy? But it isn't that way now. How does that change for you?
It actually is that way here now. Our strength staff and training staff are getting very close to these players. I'm getting very close to these players, and I understand it's a business. I understand that, I actually had a team meeting about that. There's going to be cuts. There's going to be trades involved. That's going to be a tough deal when you get close to players like we do. But we're committed to give them the best, and I ask for their best in return.
Cassidy Hill, and then we'll end with Mark Long.
Hey, Urban, just two quick ones. First, DJ Chark has spoken a lot this past week about players' mental health and taking care of that. From your perspective, how much of that falls on the coach and the team, and what can you do to sort of, I guess, cater and help players take care of their mental health?
Well, I've been in this game for a long time. It's never been more prevalent than right now. This is a tough world right now for, it's a world that I didn't grow up in, and I've learned a lot in the last 20 years, how different it is. So it's something we address. We have a full-time sports psychologist on hand. I've talked individually with a bunch of guys, and we're on call 24/7 for that. And I know the NFL has tried to do a great job with that as well. So I watched DJ Chark's message. I'm so glad that he did it, because I think, these guys are role models for people.
And then just secondly, you recently just hired a new special teams coordinator. How did that process come about, and what is it that you liked about Sorensen?
Yeah, Nick came extremely highly recommended by guys on our staff that worked with him. I did a Zoom interview with him. I talked to Coach Carroll about him. And the system we have in place is, we're going to continue. I just evaluated. I really like the system that we had in place, and it changed dramatically in June. I don't know if it'd be fair to the players. And then when I interviewed Nick, we interviewed several people. I thought he was fantastic, and he had a great couple of days. He got off a plane, and the next morning he's coaching the team. So he's done great. Carlos Polk is very involved. We elevated his assignments as well, and I feel great about where we're at.
Was that part of the allure of him, that you wouldn't have to change systems?
That was a big allure, yeah, but he had to perform well, obviously, and his recommendations were off the chart, and he did a great job in the interview.
Thank you.
Last one here, Mark Long.
Urban, even though you had been here to these facilities 6 times previously, what was the most eye-opening part of when you were considering taking the job or taking it? Was it about the fact that it's not at the level that you want it to be, that's not close to being the best of the best?
Yeah, in those days, I never, be honest with you, I walked off a bus, walked in a locker room, and went on the field, and then got on the bus and went home. So we never really evaluated it. The story is that once the decision was made, we're going to potentially move forward, we got in a plane and we flew here and walked the facilities. And Mark Lamping, Shad, myself, Trent, we walked around and kind of put a vision together at that point, and that was whenever that was. And then later that day, we decided to move forward with the job and take it, and let's make this the destination place. And Shad was all in.
We have time for one more, Coach. One quick one. John Osher.
Yeah, Urban, can you just talk about your impressions so far of Miles Jack? What do you think of him and moving forward with him?
Yeah, he's a alpha leader. He's a stud. I love the way he's worked. He was a little overweight. He lost that weight immediately. He's been A+ in the weight room and the training, and You know, you need your Josh Allens and Miles Jacks to be who they are. And when I talk about core players, you know, everybody wants to talk about free agency and the NFL draft. I always try to make sure we mention the guys that I see core players. Does he have to play better? Yeah. A lot of the core players have to. But we've addressed it, and he's done everything we've asked and above and beyond since we stepped foot on in Jacksonville.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
We'll start off with Cassidy Hill.
Hey, DJ. You spent the last week really sort of opening up a lot about mental health and what can be done about it. In your opinion, in your proposal, what should the league do to sort of help athletes take better care of their mental health?
I think right now they're doing a good job by acknowledging it. I think that's the biggest thing. We brought in a doctor that helps with that, mainly just for moral support if you need it, always there around. I think that's the first step. You know, you can't really force someone to open up or do things like that, but providing them with the place and the space to do so is big. And I think as long as we continue to move towards allowing players to express themselves, having a place where they can confide in, that's huge, definitely at the professional level.
And then you talked to us a lot last season about your wife helping you a lot growing up and things like that. Was that sort of the start of all of this decision to be willing to step up and sort of become the face of this conversation, which is not always an easy one?
Definitely. My wife now, then girlfriend, since college, you know, always supported me when it came to having those deep conversations. And, you know, I was able to support her. She was able to support me, and we was able to be more open. And with that, you know, I gained confidence in myself. I had a great support staff at LSU as well, where I was able to, you know, gain confidence. And once I got the confidence to speak on it, you know, I'm not afraid to, you know, open up and be a guy to talk about it, because I'm very confident now in my abilities, my things that I can bring to the table, the people that I can help. And if I can help, you know, even 1, 2, 3 people, that's big. So I don't mind speaking at all.
And congratulations on being a new daddy.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go Mia and then D-Rock.
Yeah, DJ, we haven't spoken to you since the new arrival. Congrats on Mackenzie.
Thank you.
Are you sleeping much? How has the lifestyle?
Depends on how she's feeling. It's tough. It's tough at times, you know, being a new parent. But, you know, I'm always there to support. I'm always there to, you know, if she's crying at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., you know, if her mom's not already on it or she's struggling with it, I'm willing to jump in. It's tough when you have to be up here early in the morning, but, hey, I'd rather now than during the season. So shout out to Mackenzie for cooperating and coming at a great time for us.
Love it. Because, yeah, I mean, obviously you're having to get up and then go to work, even if it's not during the season. So far for you guys, what is your assessment of this offense and your quarterback, Trevor Lawrence?
I like it. You know, it's still building. We have a long ways to go, but you definitely can see the attention to detail that everyone on the team has, definitely on the offense. We're all speaking the same language. We know where we're supposed to be, when we're supposed to be there. Everybody's up in their game this year. The competition is great. The camaraderie, the teamwork is good. It's a lot of support going on, and that's credit to the staff as well. Then you got talented players. You got Trevor, you know, who's still learning, but, you know, the talent is definitely there. He don't mind throwing it. He don't mind slinging it, which is something that's going to help this offense for sure. So we still have a ways to go, you know, but to get to where we want to be, but it's not a bad start at all.
I know I spoke with you before the draft, or I should say the day of the draft, obviously when Trevor was selected. Looking at him now, you guys have had 2-3 weeks of on-the-field workouts. In particular today, how would you assess his performance today? I know last week we watched him and he had some red zone struggles. What did you think of him out there today?
I think he did well. Uh, if I'm not mistaken, he threw me some pretty good bombs today, which is cool. You know, I like catching those. Uh, but yeah, you know, every day is a step. One thing that I've learned, you know, during these OTAs is we have a very competitive team. So the defense not going to make it easy for us at all. So we have to, you know, go out there and take it. So anytime that we do complete passes like that today, you know, that's a credit to the work that we've been putting in, the work that he's been putting in. And once again, it's just OTAs right now. So by the time that first game get here, it's going to be way more of those type plays being made.
Awesome. Thanks, DJ.
All right, we'll go D-Rock and then John Reed.
Hey, DJ, Urban said a few minutes ago that he told you, you know, when he got here in January that he didn't think you played real well last year and that you were a big guy playing little and you needed to toughen up and get stronger. What's that like when you're hearing that coming out of his mouth?
You know, I like it. I love the challenge. I also, you know, told Coach that I'm like that, you know, when I go out there, I ball. So I love talking to Coach Meyer. He's a competitor. He's going to push me, but he also know that I'm going to do what I do. I'm going to step up. I'm going to make plays. If, you know, he give me good advice, him to go get in the weight room, I get in the weight room. I put the weight on. But, you know, I know, you know, hey, I'm once again, I'm like that. So, but, you know, I love when he pushed me to be better than what I am, you know. So to make him happy, you really got to be balling, you know. So you really I got to step it up to make him happy. You feel me? But it's definitely good push. I like having a guy like that, an alpha, that's gonna push you to be an alpha.
When you finished last season, did you kind of have the same feeling that maybe you didn't play as well as you had wanted to?
I mean, we was 1-15. I don't think anybody played as well as we wanted to. Yeah, it wasn't my best at all. It was times where I let the circumstances get a little bit, you know, control my output, I feel like, which if I'm going to be the guy that I want to be, I got to be that guy all the time. So I take credit for that. I think I finished with like 700 yards or something like that, which I feel like I'm way better than that. But due to a few missed games and just some games that wasn't good, at the end of the day, the NFL is hard to get yards either way it go. So I definitely think I could be way better than what I was last year. That's definitely the floor for me the rest of my career. I won't be going back there.
Thank you, bud. Appreciate it.
John Reed and then John Shipley.
Hey, DJ, I mean, you've been known as a speed guy. Was that a challenge? And I mean, have you put a lot of effort into weightlifting since you've been playing ball, or was that something different that he said to you that you put a great?
I was very big in the weight room at LSU. I got to the NFL, kind of focused more so on skill work. You know, you got to keep the fundamentals and keep the weight lifting going, and I feel like that's a part of my game that I lacked. So I had to every year I find something to make myself better. I had to remotivate myself to get in the weight room, but now I like it. It's smooth, it's easy. I enjoy stepping on the scale and seeing my weight. I enjoy looking bigger, feeling bigger, running faster. So, you know, credit to the staff that we have here, the weight room, the guys, the intensity that we bring in, you know. I really enjoy it. It makes it a place that I don't mind going and getting some work in. I'm not hiding from, you know, the weight room now. It's pretty exciting. I like it.
Yeah, just a follow up. I mean, what it means to you and your other teammates that your head coach says that he want to bring you guys the best, that you don't have to go, like you don't have to go back to Louisiana and find your strength guy, anything like that, and just what does that mean as a team that you guys got all this available to you here?
I mean, you know, hearing it sounds good, but actually seeing it is different, and seeing the progress that we've been doing since, you know, this new staff, this new era then took over, you know, it's like practicing what you preach. So once you show guys that we're not only saying it, but we are building these things. We are putting extra time in. We are listening to you, asking you about, your body, what you can do better. I think that's the biggest thing. That's why we have so many guys here, because they're holding up their end of the bargain, So since they holding up their end, we have no problem holding up our end. We enjoy being pushed, especially I do. So, hats off and credit to those guys for bringing that energy.
Thank you.
John Shipley.
Hey DJ, can you just talk a little bit about Coach Law and Marvin Jones, and just kind of what you've learned from each of them since they both have joined the team?
Who was that first person you said?
Sanjay Law.
Oh, I love it. I love both of those guys. Coach Sanjay is a great teacher. He studies the game. He's breaking everything down like to a science, kind of like you're in school, but then we're also going out on the field and we're doing it, so you see it. And he's not one of those guys to practice it on Tuesday and we don't talk about it again until next Tuesday. He's big on carrying our individual until our team periods and things like that. And to be doing that now, OTAs, and to continue to have those sound bites from him is big to put into our repertoire. So, I really enjoy being pushed and learn from him. Also, Marvin, Marvin's just a great guy. You turn on the film, you see what he can do year in, year out, very consistent, great guy, great family man, great role model, person that, I really enjoy having in the room, but it's also good. It's also a good feeling to know that you have a top dog in there that defenses have to respect, and that makes me pick up my game because, I always want to be the best on the field. So if he's out there making plays, I got to go make plays too, like friendly competition, but it's only going to get us both to where we want to be at and get this team to where we want to be at. And as long as he's up in his game, I'm up in my game. Next guy got to up his game, and that's how the room becomes better.
Thanks, DJ. Congrats again.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, DJ. You're all set.
Thank y'all.
We'll have Roy Robertson-Harris next.
They're finna ask me like 2 questions and then I'm done, right? I don't care about 95. Am I muted? Oh, I'm good.
No, you're hot right now.
Okay, what's up with it, y'all?
Yeah, the media here. We'll start with Jordan.
Hey Roy, what's it like been working with Joe Cullen on the defensive side of the ball so far?
Joe's good, man. He loves the game. He loves the game of football. I think we're getting a lot of energy from him, and he's a good coach. Scheme is good. I think we're going to be very good this year.
Thanks.
Okay, we'll go to Demetrius and then Mia.
Hey, Roy, Urban Meyer has sort of put a huge emphasis on the sport performance side of things. What have you sort of seen in that area in terms of being able to get all of your dodges or couplings or anything that you would sort of need as a football player there? And how does that sort of differ from maybe from the past places you've been or in Chicago?
Oh, man, they're trying to make sure everything is here for us, trying to make sure that we don't have to go all over the world to get everything done, which is a good thing. Having to travel, 30 minutes up the road to get a massage or to get, needling, all that stuff. He's trying to keep everything in-house. It's been great. I'm able to get everything I need done here at the building, so I don't have to travel. Saves me time, saves me gas. So it's been great.
Get off my computer screen right here so I can go on.
Mia?
I think we have a muting issue, but hopefully we've got that fixed. Hi, Roy.
Shout
How's
out to
it going?
Zoom. Take your
Shout
mute
out
off.
Can't wait to be in person soon enough. Just curious, we haven't spoken to you since Trevor Lawrence became part of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I know you guys are not obviously, looking to sack him right now. But, as you're lining up against him, what do you see from him, a rookie quarterback?
I think Trevor's going to be great. I don't know too much about what's going on offense, but
I think he's gonna have a great career here in Jacksonville, and playing for Urban, I think he's gonna mold into the quarterback he needs to be. I can't touch him or get near him. I'm gonna be on a Greyhound back to Texas, so I try and stay away from him during practice. So it's been great though.
Totally.
Yep.
But obviously, I know you guys were lined up 11 on 11 today. So, obviously you're focused on your assignment, but from maybe when you're standing on the sidelines, if there were any plays you were on the sideline watching him, what do you see from a rookie quarterback?
I see a guy that wants to win games. He's dedicated. He's bought into the team philosophy. He wants to win. That's what we're here to do.
Awesome. And then just real quick, I know you've only been here a few months. What is your relationship like with Josh Allen?
Oh, that's my guy. Josh is my guy. We have great chemistry. We always going at it at practice, competing against each other on get-offs. I beat him every time, but that's my guy though.
Love it. Awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
Anybody else have a question for Roy? John Reed?
Just wanted to get your impressions since you've been here. What stands out to you about Urban Meyer as a coach? And I mean, not so much as a coach, but what stands out to him as a motivator, in your words?
He's got great energy. You need that in a coach. He's very energetic at practice and the meetings, talking about what we are trying to accomplish this season. He ain't a dead ass, we're gonna win some games. He's very energetic. He wants to win, and we all want to win, and we feeding off of that. We feeding off his energy, and that's what I love about Urban.
Does he say things that make you feel that you put this extra amount of effort, you're gonna get to that maximum point where you need to be at? Does some of the things that he says that's kind of motivate you in that way, from just being brutally honest about things, assessments at practice, or anything like that?
Say it again. I'm sorry.
I'm just
that was
saying,
a long question. That was a long question. Shorten it up for me, boss.
Yeah, no problem. Just some things that he might say is like he might evaluate you at practice and tell you that you need to do this or need to do that better. Is there, he may not have said that to you, but maybe said that to others too. In a way, does that motivate you guys to, you respect what he says, that you're going to put that extra effort that he's talking about, that you believe when he evaluates that he knows what he's talking about? Absolutely. To make you a better player?
Absolutely. He talks about effort every day. Every single day, it's all about effort. You put that little bitty extra effort in, that +2 mentality that he talks about is real. It's real. So we see it in practice. Everybody seems to understand it. But it's just that extra effort, that'll help us win games at the end of the day.
Thank you, man.
Yep.
Okay, we'll go to Gary next, and then John Osher.
Hey, Roy, I know you guys aren't allowed to hit each other, but have you formed any impressions of James Robinson and just watching, and going against him as best as you can?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I don't know too much about James, playing tailback, but I'm more focused on the O-line, just going up against the O-line and the time we do go up against each other, You talking about the running back, right, James?
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
I know James is a great player. I know James is gonna go off this year. James is gonna go off.
And one of the reasons why I ask you about him is you guys have a similar collegiate background, and he came from Illinois State, you came from Texas El Paso. When you come up in a team or on a team with a lot of the Power 5 conference guys, does that motivate you coming from the colleges that you came from to prove yourself maybe a little bit more?
I feel like once you get to the league, whether you undrafted or first round, you still got to prove yourself. So I came in undrafted, I had to prove myself, just like a first round or second rounder has to prove himself. So being from a smaller school like UTEP, and you say he went to Illinois State,
yeah.
He went crazy from what I understand a year ago, so he proved himself. Once you're at this level, it's the league, it's the NFL. So he did what he had to do to be a household name around here.
Thank you, Roy.
Yep.
Here we go, John Osher and then John Shipley.
Yeah, Roy, you mentioned at the top believing strongly in this defense. When you look around at what this defense is going to be, what do you like about it? What gives you optimism about it going forward?
We got guys on the edge that could rush. We got guys in the middle that could, stop the run. We got DBs that can cover. We got linebackers that are fast, that can move good. We got a great all-around defense. As long as we communicate and we give in that effort, I think we're going to be in a great spot.
John Shipley?
You got to turn your mute off.
Roy, just how's it been with Coach Tosh? Just the few practices you guys have had together.
Tosh has been good, man. He's putting us through drills that is gonna put us in good position in the games, pass and run, and we continue to stack great days with him. So I think Tosh is gonna continue to help us improve each day, and then once we get to camp and we get passed on, continue to help us improve once we really get to play with the O-line. Or with the team periods.
And just a quick follow-up, Roy. Caleb on Chason, he's another guy like you had mentioned. Just from the time that you've been able to get to know him, what have been your impressions of him?
Kay loves to work. Kay's gonna continue to grow as a player. He's really fast off the edge. He can work a lot of different moves. I think he's gonna continue to grow as a player and play a long time in this league.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
All right, thanks, Roy. You're all set.
Appreciate it. Thank you.